How's it going out there, everyone? This is W.F.S, your doctor, with a question for you today. What is Star Trek? To be more precise, what classification is Star Trek? Is it a science fiction or is it science fantasy? This is an interesting question because I honestly believe there's a little bit of both in here, but if you were doing a Google search on what Star Trek is, it classifies Star Trek as science fiction. Star Trek, is it science fiction or is it science fantasy? Could it possibly be both? When you talk with so many fans of Star Trek, they will tell you that this is specifically a science fiction show, and there's definitely plenty of evidence to prove it, and I'm not here to discredit that at all. I'm just simply saying there is also evidence here to prove that it is a touch of science fantasy. So let's get into this. First, let's talk a little bit about the mode of transportation, the transportation aspect of this series. And right off the bat, we have to acknowledge the fact that space travel is possible. And I can honestly see in the distant future vessels like these traveling through space. It is not unrealistic to believe such a thing. When you consider the achievements that man has made in the efforts to get into space, such as the ignition of the space shuttle, you cannot ignore the fact that sooner or later, God willing, if we don't blow each other up first, we will be going into space in vessels possibly like the USS Enterprise.
Energize.
Since we're on the subject of transportation, we might as well talk a little bit about the transporter here. Definitely, this is science fiction with a touch of fantasy. If you did a little research into it, you'll find that number one, scientists have created a transporter of sorts, but it is a quantum entanglement transporter system, and that basically is involving computer data, not human bodies. According to research that I found, it would take billions, millions to billions of amount of computer space for the human body to be deconstructed and stored in a pattern and reassembled somewhere else. That technology is nowhere near in our future. When it comes to whether or not computers blending with humans is science fiction, that is slowly becoming a reality. My God, Elon Musk is developing devices designed to implement or implant in the human brain and record and potentially stimulate nerve activity. They're talking about putting computer parts, computer chips in the human brain. This is some really scary stuff, and right now it is science fiction, but within the next few months, supposedly, or to the next year, Elon Musk's company is planning on doing test runs on this subject, at least from the information that I have seen. Now, when it comes to aliens out there in the universe, I definitely am going to have to say that this is science fiction, only for the simple fact that we haven't seen any yet, and I believe they will eventually show themselves, but for right now, we only get to see them in our books and in our games and television and movies, so that definitely is fiction, not fantasy. However, when it comes to alien encounters, the next group that I am going to mention definitely is pure fantasy.
Ta-da!
Now, when it comes to races like the Q, I have to believe that this is just pure fantasy right here. This character and all like him are just pure fantasy because I have a hard time believing the fact that any creature will evolve to the point that they can use their minds in such a way that they can inflict harm on other people like this. In the blink of an eye, the race like the Q has the ability to alter anyone's appearance, change them into whatever they want. This is something that is pure fantasy.
Now, do let me anticipate your next question. You want to know how I've managed all of this?
That's correct.
We, meaning I and others, have, to state the matter briefly, perfected a system by which matter can be transferred to energy and back to matter again. You see, we not only transport matter from place to place, but we can alter its shape at will.
Trelane explains that they have a technology that allows them to alter the shape of anything they want at will. But when we fast forward to Q, This is not about technology. This is about pure magic. And that changes the whole thing from fiction, at least in my opinion, from science fiction over to fantasy, which makes it harder to believe that such a character could exist. What about when Trelane has Gothos chasing after the Enterprise? Is that science fiction or is that pure fantasy? Well, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this. Star Trek as a science fiction story is a great story, but is it 100% science fiction or is it a blend of science fiction and science fantasy? As I said before, Google says that Star Trek is science fiction, but I would love to know what you think about it. So please drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, God bless.